Hello, folks. Have you ever wondered what a construction schedule should look like? Have you ever been on a project, or you're doing your own building, or you're having a contractor doing some building for you, maybe building your deck or doing your kitchen, or possibly even a new house. And you want to make sure that you're working with somebody that gets you a good construction schedule. Well, how do we even know what a good construction schedule is if we don't know what's supposed to be in it? Well, that's what we're going to share with you here today because that is really one of the fabulous pieces of information that you need to make sure that, well, that you've got your budgets on time, that your materials are on time, that your folks are coming and going on time. So let's just talk a little bit about what it makes a good construction schedule. I learned this because of my years of being a building contractor. And I realized just how important it was for me. If I'm going to make money, I had to stay on schedule. I had to make sure that the materials were coming on time, that the men were coming on time. But if you're doing it yourself, or if you're working with your neighbor who's a contractor, or somebody that you know, or somebody that is professional and has his own system, the main ingredients are always the same, and you'll want to know what they are so that you can make sure that you're working side by side with them, and you can hold them accountable if they get off schedule. So a good construction schedule is really a real life, as accurate as 1 week as we can get, as a well-organized timeline of events. Events meaning our trades coming in and our materials coming in. We got to make sure that when we got multiple trades coming in, that they're coming in on time, but they don't step on each other. We don't want them all coming in at one time. They got to know when they're happening, when they're not. Perfect example. So when we're building, say, a home, and the electricians seem like they always get in first. And they actually have all the mechanicals. They should be actually the last. But why do you want that? Why is this important? Because if your electrician gets in before your tenor or your HVAC contractor, well, then he's going to be running wires that's going to have to be moved. Then they're going to try to charge you for extras, if they have to move anything, or if it makes it impossible for the tenor or HVAC contractor to get in there, he's going to just cut the wire and just run his stuff right on through because he's supposed to go first. And then we always let the plumbers go in. That's why it's so important that you make sure you have a good timeline of events. Plus, you want to make sure the materials are there waiting for them when they get there. So there's 7 different stages of our construction process. And one of our first stages is our bidding process. And and you say, well, how is that part of our construction our schedule? Well, it's because you got to put out X amount of time that you're going to get them out there, get them back. For instance, when we're living in a time of interest rates and you're borrowing your money that's very volatile, or you're going to be taking money out of your 401k or whatever you're going to be doing to pay for your project, then you need to kind of have an idea how long you're going to be out there getting your bids. And it's also good to let people know when you do send it out for bids, when can you get it back? I understand in today's world, it's crazy. I mean, I got some bids out there right now, and it's taking a little bit longer than normal to get them back. So you might just ask your contractor or your vendor or your supplier, how long do you think you're going to get before we get back to taking care of getting bids on this? Because it is important. Then our pre-construction and, of course, procurement, construction, commissioning, then owner occupancy, and then project closeout. All of these really should be in the schedule. So you ask your contractor, how much lead time do you need to have to come onto my job to make sure that you are there when I'm ready for you? So when you're doing your scheduling, so they say, I need, say, 3 weeks out. And so I recommend they tell you 3 weeks out. First, you write down when they told you this. Preferably, we get all this now. Now we can all do this on the internet. But write down the time they said it and who said it, how much time they get. Then I want everything in writing. I want everything a paper trail. Have a paper trail all the way. Don't pick up the phone. You can pick up the phone, but make sure there's a paper trail. And then, so I'd call them 4 weeks at a time. Then at the end of the 4 week, and then at 4 weeks, then at 3 weeks, I'd call again and say, oh, shucks, John, you told me 3 weeks. I know I got out ahead, but what the heck, 3 weeks. We're still on schedule on my end, so I want to make sure that you're there. And then you might call out a week ahead of time again and say, okay, we're right on schedule. You guys are going to be here on time. Then that way what really happens is they're being reminded over and over and over again that you're ready for them or going to be ready for them. What they don't want is they can't miss a day with their crews. So what they don't want to do is come to your job or expect your job to be ready, and it's not. Then they don't have a place to send their men. Their men get upset, screws up everybody's schedule, screws up their money coming in, everything. So make sure that you follow through. Then this is the bonus. This is a bonus, and I love this bonus, and I know contractors hate. This is one of the reasons they hate me. But it works. So you've already followed through. You've done everything I've said up to this day. Now, what if they don't show? Well, what I do, and it works really, really well, is I contact them that day and see if they don't contact me back, I contact them twice that day. Then the very next day, if they still don't show, then I contact them 4 times. 2 times in the morning, 2 times in the afternoon. Then if I still don't hear from them, and believe me, this will happen to you if you're out there very long. You still won't hear from them. Then I start calling them every hour of the working day. Then I blow it up, and then everything, emails or texting, everything, I just blow up and ask them, when are you coming? When are you coming? Because it's that important for you to stay on schedule, because just because this guy's a jerk and not calling you or following through is no reason and no excuse. You as a contractor, or you are the one doing the scheduling, takes care of that to make sure that the next people don't get hurt, right? So that's kind of you're being your own general contractor, right? But also, you should know these techniques, because if your contractor said the drywallers are coming, and you don't have control of the drywallers, but you do have control of your general that you've hired. I'm just using that as an example. It could be plumbers or anybody, painters. Then you start doing the same thing. That's how you do it. Now, we do talk about in the book about penalization if they don't come on time in the contract and everything like that. So you can learn more about it. But hey, you want to learn more about this, how to hire a contractor, which actually not only how hiring a contractor, a lot of contractors are very much getting into this, and we've had a lot of contractors read this. Oh, they love the book and hate my guts. You know why they hate my guts? Because we're teaching you how to handle it to make sure your job goes smoothly. But they also love it because if they do it themselves, they look like great winners. Well, thank you folks for watching our video. I hope this has been educational. And hey, check out our book, How to Hire Contractors. All right, and you can check it out on our website. Thank you, and have a great day.